What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Another demoralising defeat to Arsenal, 4-1. And I'm sorry, that was absolutely gutless from Tottenham for pretty much the majority of the game. I thought we defended all right for the first half, albeit they should have been winning, and it was 1-1 at half time. Very lucky to go in at 1-1.
Hanging on, weren't we?
Yeah, look, I thought Dragusin did well, you know, backs against the wall. I thought Bissouma was doing well. The reality was, it could have been 3. It could have been 3-1 going into half-time break. We just did not put them under any pressure whatsoever. The goal that we did score was lucky, just praying off a mistake. They did great things from Randall Kolo Muani. Second half,
we came trying to play there, wasn't it?
Yeah, completely. Like I said, we did not put them under any pressure whatsoever in that first half. Second half, we come out, we did all right. Javi Simmons has an effort, and then straight away we concede, and then that was it pretty much. I just don't understand how you can go into a North London derby and not even attempt to try and put them under any sort of pressure whatsoever. I was looking at the Wolves-Arsenal game a few days ago. Wolves defended better and attacked better and put them under a lot more pressure than we did today. And that's 2 games that we played against Arsenal and got completely shattered. Both games.
Embarrassing.
4-1 at home. And it could have been 6, it could have been 7. Literally, it's unheard of. How can we be losing 4-1 at home to these lot? Seriously.
I'm lost for words. It was embarrassing. I think the lineup set the tone for me. I think I was looking at the lineup. I was like, Spence, Gray, and wing back. We're not going to be able to get forward at all out wide, and we weren't able to get forward. In fact, the only time we were is when we moved Spence over to the right and Portel on left wing back. So I think the lineup was very conservative. I think we definitely saw that from minute 1. You saw as soon as they came out. Yes, we put in some flying challenges, but unfortunately, in the derby, you need more than that. Not in a game against Arsenal, whatever we want to say about them and bottling, whatever, they're a good team, and you're going to need more than just a bit of aggression and a bit of intensity. That you need more. You need a bit of quality on the ball as well. You need to be able to play through them. And unfortunately, we had Muani up front by himself, Xavi floating around. They were so isolated. We just couldn't get the ball near them throughout the whole game. Arsenal were creating chances pretty much from the first minute, and Spurs was pretty much in containment throughout the whole 90 minutes. We just weren't able to do it. In that first half, we were very, very lucky to go in 1-1, as you say. Arsenal missed a various amount of chances. They could have easily scored more than the goal they got. It was really important that we got the goal when we did, because at 1-0, you're like, okay, we got the goal back, and it's like, okay, we go into half time 1-1 or regroup. Maybe we come out in the second half with a bit more energy, maybe a few subs. He didn't change anything. Igor, as soon as they went 2-1 up, it was almost like it was game over. Albeit, what I would have to say is, at 2-1, we do have that goal disallowed, and I have to say, that is controversial. I don't think it's a foul.
More than controversial. He barely touched him. He goes down like a sack. He goes down like I've never seen anyone go down before, like he's been knocked out. Seriously. How is that not being overruled by VAR?
And if
that should be overruled by VAR, I'm sorry.
If it's 2-2, you know, you never know what can happen. All of a sudden you get the impetus.
At the end of the day, we can talk about refereeing decisions here and there, but the reality
is... It was a big moment, though.
Yeah, agreed, it was a big moment, but the team performance, we can't have any complaints about how the result went.
No, we deserve to be absolutely battered, and in fact 4-1 probably flattered us. But you have to say, you know, if we get that goal at 2-2, we go back on level terms, all of a sudden it could have been a different game. You never know what can happen. Do we get a bit of impetus, a bit of momentum? And you never know what can happen in that kind of state of the game. We saw Arsenal, when things go against them, all of a sudden things can change. And not only did we not get the goal, but very quickly they got the third goal as well. And obviously Eze got his brace and the defending for both goals.
It felt like after 3-1, the team in the stadium, everyone just gave up. You know, that last half an hour was really hard to watch. Like really hard. It was disgusting, to be honest. Like at what time is in a North London derby to show a face like that any sort of okay? Like, it's ridiculous. I can't believe I've sat there for the last half an hour and just watched Arsenal just toy with us pretty much.
I think it's a consequence of them being a lot better than us having all those injuries, and you know, in their second half they're bringing on all the subs, you know, Martinelli and whatever, and we were just out on our feet. I think that we just couldn't do anything.
We're still bringing on good players like Richarlison, Solanke, Tell.
Yeah, but they could bring all their subs. All our players are just out on their feet. You can see it. We did put in a lot into that game. I think you could see it. The players were really running hard. They were trying a lot, and they were out on their feet. And obviously, once we were 3-1 down as well, the game was taken away from us. And from that point, they really were toying with us. They got the fourth right at the end, but we were lucky they didn't get the fourth even before that. We were just, although again, Another moment, 5 minutes before the end, we have that chance with Raya just about claws away. If again we make it 3-2, who knows? Maybe we go into that last 5 minutes going for it. We didn't get the goal, and they end up getting a fourth one. So like those two goals, those two goals in the second half that made it 3-1, 4-1. Just before that, we just had big moments that could have changed the game. We didn't go in our favour, but at the end of the day, we didn't deserve it to because we were a shambles. We were a shambles defensively all over the shop. Arsenal, it was like animal playing with his food. That's what it was throughout most of that game, most of that second half. Spurs were just not a match for them. That was the end of the game. I don't think it was anything about desire or intent. I think at the end of the day, we were trying to contain them and we just weren't able to. We were just not good enough. We were a lot worse than them. Arsenal, I thought, played very well. I thought they were much better than us.
They were a hell of a lot better than us. And like every time we looked like we could go forward, like, it's like Javi on a one-man mission. How many times have we spoken about that under Thomas Frank? You know, Javi doing this, Javi doing that. Every time he got the ball, every time he turned his man, every time he got into space, there's nobody around him. There's nobody offering him any sort of support. And so how are we supposed to do anything?
When you're playing that 3-5-2, you have two fullbacks, Spence on his wrong side, Gray's not exactly an adventurous player, they're not going to get forward. You've got Moani by himself with Javi. Moani's he's not a player who's going to be battling with Saliba and Gabriel physically to hold the ball up. He just couldn't do it for most of that game. So Xavi, when he was picking up the ball,
was the man today. Solanke had to start today.
Of course, but I'm assuming he wanted to start him, but for one reason or another, he just couldn't. I think the 3-5-2 was not a good formation in the end. I think we were competitive at times in the centre, but at the end of the day, we had nothing going forward. Offered so little, we just weren't able to get off the pitch. And Arsenal just dominated. We dominated physically, they were popping it around us, the football they played, we were chasing shadows for most of that game. And they were opening us up.
Surely this has got to set a record this season for the amount of like shots on target we've had against Arsenal in a single season. Like seriously, the one at the Emirates, I don't know how, we had like literally one. And today, we had two shots on target. These two games against Arsenal have been the most embarrassing displays I've seen for a long time.
It represents the golfing class in both teams. That's what it does.
Yeah,
it represents
that's fine,
the difference.
But you can see a team with lesser class can give more of a go than what we've seen today.
Yeah, and
we've seen Wolves, we've seen other teams give Arsenal a game.
I think it's a consequence of we're very short on players at the moment, and so they're all running on empty. Clearly, you saw the second half; they just took it away from us. We had nothing. Arsenal, they have players to bring on. They were fresh, so much fresher than us, and then they're better than us. They're not only they're fresher, but they're better. And they just took it away from us.
You know what? If we continue to show and play like this, and you're talking about 13-foot players, 12-foot players, right? We've got Fulham away next week, and it's a very difficult game.
And Tudor learn what a big job he's got today.
We've got a massive job on our hands to keep us in this Premier League. West Ham are going to be on them. New Forest, they've just got a new manager. They lost today, but they beat Fenerbahce away. First game with the new manager, 3-0. You're seeing teams around us picking up points, and if we continue like this, I'm telling you, we're going to go down.
Today, Tudor learned how big a job he's got, and with the injuries, with the lack of quality available at the moment, I think he's got a tough job of getting these players to get the results that we need to stay up. Today, you saw it on the pitch. We were all over the shop. It was an absolute mess from start to finish.
We were another point close to the drop today.
Yeah. As much as we were talking before the game, results going our way, but at the end of the day, we lost and West Ham drew, so they gained a point on us.
4 points now. I know West Ham go to Anfield next weekend. We go to Fulham away though.
And have we given Arsenal that shot in the arm they needed after that result on Wednesday? That's also, something to think about.
The thing is, right, I was talking a lot about Arsenal and title races going into this, but now after this game is done, we can't be talking about Arsenal and title races. We've got to be thinking of ourselves. We've got to be thinking about survival. Like, playing like that, there's no chance we go to Fulham and get a result. Like, literally no chance.
No, we have to be a lot more adventurous. We have to be much more in the front third. We have to get more players in the final third. We were so isolated, and Xavi by himself, Moani couldn't really help him. The fullbacks weren't getting up. Gallagher and Sarr weren't really getting into the final third either. So I think
it wasn't for Radu in that first half. We would have been 3-4-1 down.
He comes out with credit.
Bissouma in the first half, I thought was decent.
Until he was running on empty. But that's the thing. As soon as they had players running on empty, like Timber, he was really tired. They could spring on Mosquera, put him right back, and that's the difference. Like, we just weren't able to make the amount of subs that we needed. We made 3, but we had to be very careful with our subs because we only had a limited amount. We have a bunch of teenagers on our bench. is very difficult. The only time we looked okay, I thought, was when we put Tell at wing back, or we put Spence over to the right, and at that point, we had a couple of moments where we might have scored, and we put them under a bit of pressure, but it was few and far between.
Yeah, way too few.
It was at the end of the day.
It was little kind of slithers of moments throughout the game.
At the end of the day, it was a battering. It was very similar to the game at the Emirates. We got well beaten. It was an embarrassing game. All the talk before, going to be a cauldron, 12 man. I thought the fans tried their best, but at the end of the day, we were just outdone by a better team. They were all over us. They shout on us today. Let's be honest. They absolutely shout on us. It was a footballing lesson. They were much the better team.
I was talking to you on the car on the way in, and I said, Arsenal could be like a wounded animal today, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
They laid down a marker,
Yeah, they came out, they laid down the marker, they showed who's the more dominant side right now. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how much of a lack of quality that we could show today. Because I'm not going to say a lack of fight, because I don't think it was a lack of fight. I think it was just genuinely a lack of quality. We just could not lay a glove on them.
It was I think it was a mix, lack of quality, and all the injuries we had just caught up with us at the end. I think in that last half an hour, we were out on our feet and we couldn't do much with it.
But relegation is it's creeping closer and closer and closer.
With
all these injuries, I know we got Porro, we got Richarlison back now, but still, it's not enough. We're still going to be out on our feet, and we've got hard games coming.
That's what we've got the best to show for it. We're bang in trouble, and Tudor's got a hell of a job to get some sort of results.
Next weekend is an opportunity to gain points from West Ham. They go to Anfield, the loss is expected. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a draw away. Liverpool not exactly playing the best football, but we need to go to Craven Cottage and win, but I can't see it.
Right now, if we're playing like that, it's going to be a hell of a job for Tudor to get any sort of results, because we're out on our feet at the moment, we're lacking in quality, and the best team in the league.
Should we be out on our feet though? Because I know we've only got 12-13 plays, but we haven't played for 12 days.
Yeah, but you're comparing us to Arsenal.
Yeah, which we played 4 days ago, 3 days ago.
Yeah, but they got a much bigger squad. They've got depth everywhere. They're physically overpowering us, even if we're at our best. So when we're comparing to Arsenal, who have all the running power in the world, we're out on our feet against other clubs.
Why can team like Wolves give them a game? Why can't we?
Because physically they're in a better way than us, and also I think Arsenal took their foot off the gas. They kept their foot on our necks. I think they learned their lesson from what happened on Wednesday, and I think that goes to show.
Well, look, it's absolutely gutting. Relegation is a real possibility, and I'm actually petrified of it. We'll see you back in the studio tomorrow, but I'm absolutely fuming, guys. I'm absolutely fuming. We'll see you later. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on, Spurs.